Oh, one of the things how I'm going to start today's coaching call is the homework assignment that I gave 3 weeks ago. And I just said, just respond back. Just send me an email with the number one struggle you have right now in your business. And I'm going to be honest with you, there wasn't enough. I thought 35 people on the call or 40 people on the call. I'd have 30 or 40 emails. I got about 7 or 8. So a little disappointed that you guys didn't do your homework. I mean, that's a big part of, I get coached. And when my coach gives me homework, I mean, obviously I'm paying to be in that coaching program, but when my coach gives me homework, I do the homework. I mean, and sometimes the homework is hard. Sometimes the homework is not fun. This was really easy. It was, what's your biggest struggle? And I can look at every single name on here, including myself. We have struggles in our business right now. And so was super encouraged by the people that did send over their email, their homework, which was literally one sentence. All I asked for was one sentence. What's the one thing right now in your business that if you could overcome it or figure out a solution to, that it would allow you to move forward in a positive direction, close more loans? And there was a lot of really good answers. The 8 people that sent emails, there was about 3 commonalities with the struggles. And then I got on a separate coaching call with another group of people, and these are higher performers, and coincidentally are about the same. And so what I wanted to do is I want to go over these few things. I want to start off today's coaching by addressing them. And then I'm going to close down today's coaching program with, this is the second half. We're at halftime. Okay. We just started the second half of the game. And I think a lot of people on this call have a big decision to make, because I know your income and I see your numbers, and I empathize with you. I sympathize with you, but in regards to the pain that you're feeling relative to income, but I don't feel bad for you because it could be better. All of your numbers could be better. My numbers could be better. My numbers have finally started to improve because of the number one thing that you guys sent over. The number one struggle was time management. See, 3 years ago, I took on a regional role here at New American Funding. For the last 6 years in a row, I averaged 16 to 18 loans closed a month. 3 years ago, I took on a regional role here and a branch manager role, which I've done before. And it's taken time away from me focusing on originating. Okay. That's a distraction. Okay. And that has a lot to do with time management. So about 4 months ago, I got with my coach and we got very, very specific on how to fix this problem. I got to get back to 16 plus loans a month. I'm not happy with 11. I'm not happy with 12. I need to get to 16. Now, these are my personal goals, 16 plus. And we fixed a few things. And if you look at my numbers over the last 3 months, they've changed. They've gotten better. We're in the double digits and we're trending in that direction because I addressed the problem and I'm coachable. I got with my coach, said, this is the problem. We need to fix this. How do I fix this? And then we attacked the problem. Okay. And so one of the first things that showed up on the struggle list was time management. Okay. You can't manage time. I can't manage time. You can't manage time. Time is a constant. Time is the one thing that no matter what you do, it keeps going, including death. Okay. My wife and I were talking about this the other day. It's fascinating that when you die, people feel bad and they celebrate your life for a couple of days, but guess what? Life moves on, right? And so it's really difficult when you hear coaches and trainers talk about time management because you cannot manage time. What you can do, though, is you can focus on what you do with your time, okay? And when I say you can't manage your time, you can have all the best intentions for the next hour, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and then guess what? Something happens. Something happens. Your wife calls, your husband calls, your boss calls, your branch manager calls, a loan officer calls, a borrower calls, a realtor calls, and it takes you off track. And so a couple of you guys on this call, and I'm looking at you right now, I see you on here that mentioned that you had issues with just focus and time management. It takes intentionality. It takes effort. Okay. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because it doesn't need a lot of time. So if you're struggling with time management and you're struggling with focus, you have to address that. And you have to know when you're not focusing. Number one, you're having a hard time. If you're having a hard time focusing, go outside, take a couple of really deep breaths, come back on task. Okay. I don't want to hear the excuse of ADD and all these other things that you've self-diagnosed or even had a doctor diagnose you with a lack of focus. Fucking focus. That's it. I have had to tell myself this before, you guys. I have the hardest time with focus. I've got a task to do, and the little Facebook ding comes on, and I go check my messenger, or my text message ding goes on. Just focus. Turn it off. Tell yourself, I've got to focus right now for the next 30 minutes. Start with 30, then go to 1 hour. There was a best-selling book written, I can't remember the name of it, but there was a rule that they use where you go hard for 90 minutes and then you take 30 off, 90 on, 30 off, 90 on, 30 off. And they've done studies on it, and there were studies that saying that's the formula for max productivity in a day. You could go 30 minutes on and 5 minutes off. I don't care. But if you're having a hard time focusing, one, you've got to be cautious of it. You've got to address it, and you've got to self-coach yourself. I'm going to focus right now on making phone calls for the next 30 minutes. Here's the list. I'm going to make them, and that's it. Okay. So number one, focus and time management. The second part of focus is time management. Time management is just, think of it this way. You're going on vacation. You're going on vacation and your spouse or your partner gives you a to-do list of all these things you guys have to do to get ready for vacation. All of you guys would probably agree you attack that list. You attack that list because you have to, but because there's a pot of gold on the other side of that list, right? There's a vacation, there's excitement, there's emotion attached to it. Okay, so attack your list, and then think of it as when I attack this list and I call these realtors, or whatever you have to do, whatever task it is that you're trying to get done in a certain amount of time, attach a reward to it or attach a consequence to it. If I do this, I get to X. Okay. It's not that hard for me. I know that if I call 40 realtors on Monday, I'm going to have referrals throughout the week. I just know that, you guys. And if I can make one thing clear to all of you guys, if you just called a list of realtors, even if you called them on Thursday, you will have referrals coming through over the weekend. I promise you. Okay. So I'll make the calls on Monday. I'll send the emails out. I'll send the emails out on Monday. I'll make the calls on Thursday. I like it. Hey, did you get the email? Did you get the video that I sent you? Hey, are you doing an open house this weekend? What can I do to support you? Okay. So if you do that one thing, and it doesn't have to be 40 realtors, it could be 10, it could be 20. If you did that one thing, you will get referrals. Okay. There's people on this call that are struggling to get real estate agent referrals. They're struggling horribly at it. It's because you're not doing it right, number one, and I would bet that you don't have a list. Okay. That was the number two thing that came up. I'm struggling getting my foot in the door at real estate offices, and I'm struggling getting in with realtors. Okay. I've been working with realtors since 2008. I didn't know what I was doing in 2008, 9, 10, 11, and 12 with realtors, but I did it anyways. So all of you guys that I'm looking at, all 40 of you that I'm looking at right now, you have no excuse. You cannot bullshit me because I've been in your shoes. I've gone into real estate offices and been ignored. Okay. I've gone into real estate offices and been laughed at because I effed up on a deal. I've gone on real estate agent offices, doors shut as I'm walking down the hall. Guys, it is what it is. Now, those are the fears that you're concerned with. What I did differently is I went into those real estate offices with intent. I'm going to go into those real estate offices to connect with 1 or 2 realtors to ask them how I can help improve their business. We can help any real estate agent out there, whether they're a top producer or a beginner. Okay. So you have to be wired that way. When I got into mortgage and I started working with real estate agents, I was like, I need to connect with realtors. I need realtors to see my value. How can I get their attention? So I'm going to ask you this. How can you get real estate agents' attention? You can create videos of value. We had breaking news yesterday, you guys, with inflation. Every single one of you guys should copy the video that I sent out. I had about 8 or 9 real estate agents share the video. I had a broker owner of Chad Cooley, one of my coaches. He oversees 700 agents. Took my video. It was less than a minute on inflation. It was super dummied down what the CPI numbers meant. We've been waiting on this for 2.5 years. This is movement in the right direction. We still need to watch unemployment numbers, but all of this is going to cause the Fed to drop the Fed rate in the coming months. There's an 88% chance it's going to happen in September. That means mortgage rates are going to indirectly drop as well. I don't know how low, but this is really good news. If you have any questions on this, I want you to reach out to me. This is the time to buy, not when rates drop. You can always rework your mortgage. It's called a refinance. You can't ever go back and rebuy a house. I did that in 60 seconds or less. You know what a lot of other lenders were doing yesterday? They were sending memes that their marketing department sent them on CPI numbers. Who the fuck knows what CPI is? I don't even know. Consumer Price Index. I can't even tell you what it means. I know it's attached to inflation. That's it. If I don't even know what it means or care what it means, do you think the consumers do or realtors do? They don't. They don't. They want to know what it means to them. It means that inflation's coming down. It means that we need inflation to come down so the Fed can start lowering the rate to boost the economy. That's it. That's it, you guys. So if we make a video and you send that out, that's going to get an attention. That's why I do video. I hate doing video. Think I like looking at gray hair and wrinkles? No. But I do it because it gets real estate agents' attention, because other lenders aren't doing it like I'm doing it. It's super simple. Okay. That. Number 2, events. We've talked about this. I did a whole training on events. Do events. Bring out someone that can speak. If you can't, you can bring out a title rep. You can bring out a PMI rep. You can bring out a rep for a bank statement loan. If you're in my branch, you can bring me out and I'll talk. I'll talk on a topic and I'll make you look good. We'll do it together. Okay. I think that doing events, and that's a way to get in front of more realtors. But at the end of the day, it's just getting their attention. And that's all you need. And then now that you've got their attention, we've got NAF cash, we've got bank statement loans. We're a direct lender for VA and FHA. We can do things that other lenders can't. We have so many things. We can fix people's credit and give them a credit back. So you guys have no excuse to not go out and talk with realtors. I'm having a hard time getting in at real estate offices. I'm having a hard time talking to realtors. No, you're having a hard time working harder to get in there. You're having a hard time not improving your game so that you can be of value in front of realtors. That's the problem. You're not having a hard time getting in front of realtors. I can get in front of 50 realtors right now if I wanted. I would call them. I'd say, I'm throwing a happy hour. Come out and join us. And by the way, I'm going to give you some information on a program that's going to help you sell 2 to 3 more homes in the second half of this year. You come out and you learn about this, and I'm going to make you rich. I will get realtors to show up. But you know what? They won't hang up on me. Baxter, would they hang up on me if I said that?
Absolutely not.
No, because we're making them money. Can all of you guys agree? Can all of you guys agree that NAF Cash will pay realtors money? It will close deals. Guys, I've done over, I don't know, I've done over a dozen of them in the last couple of years. They make your realtors rich. They help solve problems for realtors. That's it. So that's all we got to do. That's all we got to do. We're not having a hard time getting in front of realtors. We're not getting in front of realtors. And now here's the thing. I had a coach hit me square right between the eyes about 3 years ago. And I love getting coached by Rick Ruby because the guy's got more money than anyone that I've ever known. He's more successful in the mortgage space than anyone that I've ever known. So you can't argue with him. You just can't argue with him. He's 60. You just don't argue with him on things like that. Now, marriage, life, relationships, communication, social media, I can argue with him on stuff like that. I just choose not to. But relative to mortgage, I don't. I did a site visit in North Carolina. I went and saw him at his office and his house, and I got to hang out with him. And he said, why aren't you better? Why aren't you hitting your goals? What's your biggest struggle? And I said, realtors, leads. And he goes, Dan, realtors and leads is not your problem. He goes, you're your problem. He goes, why aren't you making more phone calls? Why aren't you making more realtor appointments? Why aren't you doing more? And he told me that it comes down to 2 things. He goes, Dan, at the end of the day in sales and in business, it only comes down to 2 things. You're afraid of success or you're afraid of rejection. He goes, Dan, which one is it? He goes, I'm going to save you thousands of dollars in counseling by just asking you that one question right now. Because he goes, you're going to get frustrated that you're not hitting your goals. You're going to get frustrated while you're not managing your time. You're going to get frustrated while you're not making realtor calls. And you're going to, then your boss or your wife or whatever is going to say, go get some help, go get some counseling, go dig deep and figure out why, right? He goes, I'm going to save you a bunch of money and time. There's only 2 reasons. You're afraid of rejection or you're afraid of success. I sure as hell ain't afraid of success because I'm driven by success. I'm afraid of rejection. And I would bet that almost all of you guys on here too are afraid of rejection. Okay. So we dug a little bit deeper. How do we become less afraid of rejection? So I don't like riding motorcycles. My dad does. A couple of my friends do. I'm just not a big fan. I think they're dangerous and I see no benefit. I'm not an adrenaline junkie. I see no benefit for riding motorcycles. But let's say that my son really got interested in riding motorcycles and I wanted to bond with my son and I wanted to go on a little trip with him and I want to ride motorcycles with my son. I'm afraid of riding a motorcycle right now. They're super heavy. They're super fast. And there's no protection if another car makes a mistake, right? I bet if I rode a motorcycle around, started maybe with a dirt bike or a moped and a dirt bike and worked my way up, in a few months, I probably wouldn't be as afraid as I am right now of riding a motorcycle. You guys with me? Because of practice. I tried it. I practiced. I did it. I started at a small level. It's the same thing calling realtors. It's the same thing calling your past clients. Just get started. I can tell you from experience, I could call 100 realtors today, 100 realtors today, if I did. And if I had 50 conversations with realtors today, one or two would be assholes. One or two would hang up on me. One or two would say, you know what, regardless of what you say, Dan, I don't like you. I've heard about you. I had a bad experience with you back in 2012, and I don't want to. One or two out of 50, you guys. Is that worth being afraid of? It's not. So if you called 100 realtors today and you actually connected with 50, one or two are going to disrespect you. What would be more important? To be disrespected by your family because you're broke and you're not hitting your numbers, or being disrespected by someone who's never met you? I'll leave that up to you, right? So when I have call reluctance, when I am afraid of doing something, I look at it that way. And I'm like, one, I've got goals. Number two, I have accountability to my coach because I'm paying him. Number three, I have accountability to my wife and my kids. That I'm a provider. All of us, if you're in here in this group, you're providers for your families. That should be your motivation. That should be your number one motivation, okay? So we had time management and focus, number one. We had not being able to get in with realtors, number two. Number three was pretty common, okay? It was database. Okay, I've coached on database before. Right now, if you're not in love with your database and you're not dripping on your database, you're swinging and missing. Okay, I spoke at John L. Scott Everett yesterday, and I'll share the slide deck with you. You guys can have the slide deck. You can reproduce it. I had about 12 minutes of time. And I started off my talk like this. If someone that you respected came to you, someone in the industry that you respected and came to you and said, in 8 months, you're going to have a plethora of business. The floodgates are going to open. And you're going to have at-bats and opportunities that you never had before. But it's 8 months away. On the flip side, if someone came to you, a meteorologist, a scientist, and said, in 8 or 10 months, we're going to have a flood very similar to the one in the biblical times with Noah, and it's going to be bad. Or we're going to have a famine where there's going to be a lack of food or whatever, a drought. You make up the natural disaster. But if someone came to you and said you had 8 months to prepare and you chose not to, you'd be an idiot, number one. Number two, you'd be jeopardizing your health, right? It's the same thing. Guys, in 8 to 10 months, we're going to have an opportunity of a lifetime in real estate. Mortgage rates are going to drop. Okay, it's going to be a little easier to pick up deals off the street, pick up deals at church, pick up deals at soccer, wherever you guys congregate. Okay, but if you take care of your database, you can 2x, 3x, 4x the likelihood of running into more deals. Now is the time to go out and talk to realtors. Now is the time to make sure you're connecting with your database. Now is the time to be a coach. The best coaches that I know, the best coaches that I ever got to play for, a really good friend of mine is a head baseball coach at LSU, Louisiana State University. 2 years ago, they won the college national title, the College World Series. Jay Johnson. He's a great hitting coach. He doesn't do anything else. He doesn't work with catchers. He doesn't work with pitchers. He doesn't work with outfielders. He doesn't coach third base. He's not on the field. He's not even a great X's and O's guy. You know what he is, though? He's a great relational guy. He can get the kids to run through a brick wall for him. Okay. So he's inspirational. He's motivational. He knows how to see one kid and he goes, you know what? Talking to him this way is going to make him work. Talking to this kid this way isn't going to work. So I got to do it differently, right? Great coaches are inspirational leaders, are motivators. And so we got to be that way to our realtors right now. We got to let them know that we got an opportunity of a lifetime coming in 6 to 8 months. And I want to be there for you. I want to help you in 6 to 8 months. I want to be there helping you and your clients close 2x, 3x transactions when that time comes. So let me ask you this, Mr. Realtor. Are you currently connecting with your database at least once a week or at least twice a month? Yes or no? The guys that I coach in my branch, we talk about this with our realtors. We meet with our realtors on this. I can tell you firsthand, 9.9 out of 10 are going to say, no, I'm not doing that right now. Cool. So I want to show you how. We have this program. It's called a 6x12 program. I've got the text messages. I've got the email messages. I've got the voice messages. I've got the handwritten note card messages, everything that you need to stay in touch with your database. Because the more you stay in touch with your database right now, you increase the likelihood of getting referrals when the market changes. Okay. So that's number one. We got to be inspirational. We got to be encouragers to our realtors. Okay. So real estate agents, number one, you got to go out and meet with them. Leveraged events, number two, you got to manage your time in order to do that. Number three, you got to have your database. Those are the top 3 things out of talking to the 8 loan officers that did their homework and talking to another group of loan officers. Big 3 struggles right now. Guys, if you focus in on those, you're going to be fine. Now, what I want to close on, how you win, if you look at all the best games in the NFL, you look at the best games in the Super Bowls or the NBA championships or whatever sport you love. The majority of the time, you guys, when you have 2 great teams playing, the outcome happens in the second half, okay? Games are won and lost in the second half, okay? So we're starting the second half of 2024 right now. It's not too late. So I'm going to leave this on you. If you work in one of my branches, or if you want to, I'm going to give you some homework. I want you to write down your goals, but it's your vision for the second half. And all I care about, you guys, is money. That's all I care about. I don't care about anything else. Money solves the majority of all problems in business, I promise you. So I want a number that's attached to loans. So you need to know your average loan amount. If your commission is 100 basis points, your average loan amount's 500 grand, your average commission's 5 grand, okay? I want you to write down how many loans you're going to close per month for the rest of the year, total that up, and I want a dollar amount attached to that, okay? Number 1, that's your homework assignment. It's that simple. Because here's the thing. Here's what I know. I think there's 40 people on this call. Here's what I know. I think the majority of you guys lack a vision. Without a vision, you just show up every single day. If my guys that I'm looking at right now in my branches had a vision and they were 100% committed to it, my vision is to close 4 loans a month, and you were committed to it, you'd be closing 3 to 5 loans a month right now. I promise you. So number 1, you don't have a vision. Number 2, you're not committed to it. What does being committed to a vision mean? It means all or nothing. It means I'm going to attack it. If I've got to make 20 phone calls before I go home today to realtors, and I've only made 11 and it's 4:45, I'm making the remaining 9 phone calls if it takes me till 7. I don't care. Whatever it takes, you guys. How do winning ball clubs win the second half? They do whatever it takes. Oh, I'm low on energy. Oh, I don't feel good. Oh, my ankle hurts. Oh, my neck hurts. My back hurts. Those are excuses. We got to stop making excuses. So no excuses, whatever it takes. So you've got your vision. Your vision is what you want for your life, what you want for your business. Both will change. I've had 3 conversations lately with loan officers that are having marriage problems. It can be all tied to money, I promise you. It's all tied to money. If you were making more money, you'd be more present. If you were making more money, you would have more self-confidence, because I know the 3 that I've talked to are not making any money right now. That's the reason. You show up, you go home, and your spouse is like, "What the hell did you do today? Did you do anything?" "No." Did you get a loan?" I'll never forget, the year was 2012. We had no money in the bank. 2013. We had no money in the bank. I came home one day. It was like 4 o'clock. Jenny was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Did you have a good day at work?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm coming home from work. I'm home." And she was like, "Did you get any loans today?" And I was like, "No." And she was like, "What the hell are you doing home?" "We're behind on our mortgage, Dan. What are you doing home?" Sometimes you got to have a gut check call like that, you guys. Whatever it takes. It's whatever it takes. I went back out to my truck, sat in the parking lot of my own freaking house, and I made calls. I set 3 appointments with 3 realtors, and I met with them that week. Now, did I come in with a loan? No, but I went back to work. Okay, so number 1, you got to have your vision. Number 2, you have to attack that vision. That vision is your number. Attach money to it. So by the end of this year, in the second half of this year, I'm going to make X, and I'm going to do it by closing X number of loans a month. You all can do better than you're doing right now. You all can do better than you're doing right now, and you can do better than you're doing right now by going back and focusing on the 3 things that we just talked about: database, time management and focus, and meeting more realtors. That's it. We have dozens of coachings from me on how to meet more realtors, how to do leveraged events, how to do videos, what to make. You can follow me on social media and just copy everything that I do in regards to videos. Okay, you can go to my YouTube channel and remake all the videos that I've done. There's no excuses. People are like, I don't know what to say or do. Cool. There's 3 or 4 mortgage guys and gals across the country that are killing it. Go follow their YouTube and remake every single one of their videos. It's that easy, you guys. And send it out to your database and send it out to your realtors. Okay. So you've got your vision, you're going to attack it. You have to commit. You have to commit to attack it. So there's a word that I attach to vision. This is my coach, Rick Ruby, taught me this. I was on a call with him this morning. He's like, it's one thing to have a vision, but it's another thing to be on a quest. So we call it vision quest. I want you to write that down. Vision quest. Vision quest. So I want you to pick you're going to write your vision, you're going to write your number for the second half. How many loans you're going to close per month, total at the end of, so on January 1, you're going to look back and you're going to be like, I closed X number of loans. Did I hit my goal? Did I attack my vision the way I was supposed to? And did I do it? Okay, you're going to write that down, number 1. Number 2, I want you to pick a day of the week. I used to call realtors on Monday. Now I call them on Thursdays. I don't care. Pick a day of the week that you're going to call your list of realtors, okay? And you're going to call them. You call realtors for 3 reasons. It's it. That's it. I just spoke in front of 2,000 loan officers at at Mastermind. There's only 3 reasons why we call realtors. Number 1, we call them to follow up on leads. We call them to follow up on leads, okay? Number 2, we call them to invite them to an event. Number 3, we call them to invite them to a business meeting. That's it. There's only 3 reasons. So when you call realtors, pick a reason. Have an event scheduled. Hey, I'm calling you today to invite you to an event that's going to help you make more money. I promise if you come and spend 30 minutes with me, the information I'm going to share will help you close more transactions for the remainder of the year. It'll help you win the second half, because I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to win the second half in my business. Come out and see me next Thursday. It's at 1 o'clock. I'll buy you some pizza and you're going to learn a ton. Can I count on you for that? Do you want me to reserve a chair for you? And then get good at asking questions. Should I reserve a chair for you? Well, I need to think about it. You need to think about making more money, or you need to think about if you're available. Get good at having conversations with realtors. It's that easy. Guys, realtors are not very, very intelligent species, okay? Don't be afraid of them. Do not be afraid of them, please. Get good at pushing back. Get good at asking questions. If you call a realtor over a certain period of time and they haven't sent you a deal, Jeremy, hey, we've met a couple of times. I've helped you with your business. You come to a couple of my lunch and learns. We haven't had a chance to do a deal together. What would it take for us to put a deal together? Do you just not work with buyers? I said that exact same thing to a kid the other day, Keller Williams. You want to know what he told me? He was like, it's just easier to send my guys that I've always used. So I said, Tyler, if you commit to me for the next 6 months, I will change your life forever. But I need your commitment. I need you to send me every borrower that you come in contact with. I'll make you look good and I'll get you referrals, but I need you to commit to me. If you do that, I will change your life. And I said, Tyler, is the current lender that you're sending all this business to, do they send any business your way? What do you think he said?
Nope.
Nope. He goes, no, I haven't got a deal from him. Cool. I will get you a deal, but I need you to send me deals so that I can leverage my systems to get referrals for you. So I had the balls to have that conversation with him. You guys, you got to push back. What is it going to take for me to get a deal from you? What would it take? If I was able to get you a couple of referrals, would you send a couple deals my way? Yeah, no problem. Cool. So we're going to talk to more realtors. In order to talk to realtors, you have to have a list. So the last thing I'm going to talk about right now is your realtor list. You have to have a list that you call. So your homework is to make the list. Your homework is to call them. When you call them on the specific day, I want you to text me. Then I want you to text me. So if you work for me, you're going to text me. If you don't work in one of my branches, you're going to text your branch manager. If you don't do this, stop showing up to these calls, please. I don't get paid. I don't care if 2 of you guys show up or 500 of you show up. If you don't do what I'm asking you to do right now, just stop showing up, okay? Because I can't help you, okay? You're going to make a list. You're going to pick a day. You're going to call them. You're going to do one of 3 things. Invite them to an event. You're going to go over some leads with them, or you're going to ask them and invite them to a business meeting with you, okay? Make a list. You're going to call them. When you get done calling them, you're going to text your branch manager and you're going to say, I made 27 phone calls. I had 11 talk tos and I set 2 appointments. I want total number of calls, how many you actually got on the phone and talked to, 27 calls, 11 talk tos. And guys, we call them to get in front of them. So how many meetings did you set? And I want you to do that every single week. Okay, if you work in my branches, you're going to text me that on the day. And that's all I care. I'm going to text back. That's called accountability. Okay, now I know you're doing it. I don't care if you called 4 and talked to 1 and set one meeting. I don't care. But that's accountability. Okay, so we've got a list. We're going to pick a day to call that list. We're going to call that list every single week. And you're going to text your branch manager how many you called, how many you talked to, and how many meetings. Okay. Now, if you do that and you're not closing transactions, now we can coach you. Now I can coach you. Now we can have a great coaching call. Run me through what you're saying. Run me through what your meeting looks like. Why isn't this working? And I will tell you right now, before we even have that coaching call, the reason why it won't work or it's not working for you is just you're not asking for the business. You're just not asking for the meeting and you're not asking for the business. Jeremy, if I was able to bring you an extra 2 or 3 transactions by working with me that you wouldn't otherwise have, would you have any problem sending me any business? They're going to say no. I have no problem sending you business. Or would you be opposed to sending me business? They're going to say no. Cool. So let's do some deals together. The next time you meet a borrower, I want you to refer them over to me. I want you to text me. I want you to do a joint text and let's do some deals together. And I want you to see my process and how I'm going to help refer you more business through our process. Cool. That's it. I don't think a lot of you guys are asking for business. We've got to ask for business. We're in sales. We have to ask for business. That's what we do. You guys are on one of the best platforms in America. New American Funding has an amazing platform. We've got great pricing. We all have incredible operations here. There's no excuse for you not to shine. Okay. That's it. Okay. Are we clear on homework? It's real simple. It's real simple. It's going to take some work. Let's have that homework turned in by Tuesday. Okay. Let's have that turned in by Tuesday. Give you the weekend and Monday to work on that. Okay. I will email you guys out a recording of this call, and I'll send you the top 40 realtor list that I use. It's really simple. It's an Excel spreadsheet. And you can start building out that list. Don't overthink the list. Agents that you've worked with, agents that you've talked to or connected with, agents that you want to work with. That's A, B, or C. That's it. A's go on the top, the ones that you've worked with. B's, they kind of know you. You kind of know them. C's, you know. Okay. C's, we're going to attack. Goes back to your vision quest. If you're on a quest, you attack the quest. If a boulder falls off the mountain and you're on a quest to go over the mountain and it's in the middle of the road, you're going to figure out a way around. Okay. Connecting with more realtors does mean you may need to have a conversation, a cold conversation with them. Warm it up. There's ways of warming it up. Okay. All right, you guys. I think that was, we're at 40 minutes. So I'm going to let you all go. If you guys need anything, let me know. I'll send the slide deck from the realtor meeting that I did yesterday. I'll send it over to you guys. I'll send you over the top 40 realtor list, the blank one that you guys can start filling out, and holler at me if you guys need anything. Okay. Have a great week.